So we have to compensate for the loss that we incurred in the last class. Let me remind you what we had done so far in defects, imperfections in crystalline solids. As I told you, the name defect here in solid state chemistry is taken with a lot of honor and dignity. In fact, there is a defect engineering in solid state. There is a defect engineering by introducing defects or by creating defects during crystallization or introducing defects in an already prepared crystal. You improve upon the qualities, the properties of the final product. To tailor make the properties, defects are being introduced. So defect is good. So it is a misnomer, as I have told you, crystals or solids should have defects so that we can harness in a number of ways. So let us first revise what we did. Point defects are the ones which we are supposed to study, and electronic defects. Line defects are not under our domain. It is in the domain of that solid state engineering, material science engineering. When some of you will enter into materials engineering, they will study a lot of, my knowledge about the defect engineering is very, very limited. So it comes in the domain of physics and engineering. So, so far, as much as I understood, I will definitely share my experience. Point defects are called zero dimension defects. These defects lie at the lattice points. Either some of the ions, atoms are missing, or they're dislocated to a different position, which are not assigned to them, thereby develop instability. But instability is good. But 1D defect, line defect, lies in one complete row or line, mostly on the surface. And that leads to so many other complications. So we are not going to discuss about line defects. Electronic defects, yes, we will be taking in a big way in our next chapter that today we are going to study, that is electrical properties of solids. So the first, there are two types of point defects. Stoichiometric, where the cation and anion will have a simple ratio, whole number ratio, and that will be maintained, same as the solid having no defect. So the stoichiometric relationship between cation and anion will be maintained, however defective it may be. And one more important, most important thing is the electrical neutrality is always maintained. There will not be any excess positive charge or excess negative charge. So two things in stoichiometric types of compounds, stoichiometric type of defects, the ratio, cation anion ratio continues to remain simple. NaCl means 1:1. Even if the crystal contains 10 to the power 6 cations missing, 10 to the power 6 anions missing per centimeter cube. Even if that happens in the defective crystal, the ratio remains 1:1. And electrical neutrality is maintained. But in case of non-stoichiometric defect, one is common, that electrical neutrality is maintained, but some of the species remains in excess. Either cation remains in excess or anion remains in excess. But electrical neutrality is maintained. We will know how it is possible. And the impurity defects, that also we will study. These are not electronic defects. These are impurity defects, where we introduce defects in normal solids, not semiconducting solids. There, in the electronic defects, we will be introducing defects in semiconductors to make it more conducting. But here we will take up impurity defect to introduce some other ionic compound having different charge into a crystal. We'll see that. Now let me remind you, which we have written in a very casual manner. I told you, you write at your homes. I'll give you the notes, but it so happened that I could not give you the notes at the right time. I gave yesterday, so I can demand, since the examination has been postponed, I will definitely demand that you should be ready with your notes by next class. But we will be writing something, no doubt. Without writing anything, we can't just sweep through these PowerPoint slides. We will write. Now, this is the place where Mr. Khan, M.A. Khan, detected a mistake, a very funny mistake that I used to, raise humor in the class, that 10 to the power 20 minus 10 to the power 6 minus is equal to 10 to the power 14. So that kind of thing, a blunder I committed, he could detect, and I really salute him. And I corrected, and today, those who have already seen the previous video, they will view me saying that it was a blunder. Now, yes, in rocks, sodium chloride type of crystal, there are 10 to the power 6 Schottky defects. Means pair, 10 to the power 6 sodium ion missing and 10 to the power 6 chloride ion missing per cc. In 1 centimeter cube, 10 to the power 6 Schottky pair defects missing. And I remind you that such a defect is noticed when the coordination number is high, particularly 6 and 8, rock salt type of crystal or cesium chloride type of crystal, where the cation to anion ratio is high. There is a chance of both cation and anion missing in equal numbers. Now, for the sake of Mr. Khan, we did this drawing, a very vague diagram to indicate that at different points, positive ions are missing. For example, here this is a hole created out of the missing. That was a lattice point, no doubt, but that lattice point is now vacant. During crystallization, this sodium ion is missing. For example, here chloride ion is missing. Here another chloride ion is missing. Some sodium ion is missing. So if you analyze the entire crystal, or say 1 unit volume of the crystal, you will find so many positive ions and so many same number of negative ions. If it is a univalent type of thing, then same number of negative ions, missing. So it is electrically neutral, and the ratio continues to remain 1:1, right? As I mentioned, this is the correction I made, that there are about we will go for a calculation now. I was really excited to introduce a new thing which so far I had not introduced, because of the help, because of the involvement of Mr. M.A. Khan. So I corrected here there are about 10 to the power 22 lattice points of each ion. 10 to the 22 sodium ion, 10 to the 22 chloride ion of each ion, out of which 10 to the power 6 of each ion is missing out. So the fraction, the mole fraction of Schottky defect is equal to, you take any one ion, same, 10 to the power 6 is the missing sodium ion or the missing chloride ion divided by the total number of sodium ion or chloride ion present in 1 cc. So this is very small. The fraction of Schottky defect is very small, although in 1 cc, as high as 10 to the power 6 ions of each type is missing. And the consequence of such a defect is a profound lowering of density. The density of the common salt that we use, the commercial sodium chloride salt that we use, is very, very light. Is very, very light. And if you, by chance, you come across with a single crystal, I mean 100% ideal crystal where there is no defect, that can be grown in a very, very sophisticated manner with a lot of expenditure, such crystals will be highly, uneconomical for commercial purpose. So that will be very heavy, very, very heavy. But the commercial sodium chloride crystal is having a lot of Schottky defects, approximately 10 to the power 6 pairs in each cc. Lattice energy is reduced because lattice becomes unstable. The repulsive forces and the attractive forces is not used because a lot of ions are missing out, but entropy increases because of the available space, the vacant space, the vibration at the ionic vibrations increases, so entropy increases. And there is a slight increase in the electrical conductivity of such crystals. In your first year program, we knew that ionic solids that do not conduct electricity, that was the first property of ionic solids. Now we know that defective crystals, they do conduct electricity. Of course, in this case, you have to apply very high voltage because the ions will migrate. It's not the electron. For the ions to migrate, because there are so many holes available, you have to apply very high voltage. So yes, compared to a ideal crystal, a non-ideal defective crystal does conduct electricity. So we have done this, and this is the new thing that I have introduced. You can write down calculation of Schottky defects in a MX type of solid, either univalent or bivalent. So it is a MX type of solid. Maybe any other type of solid having Schottky defect. Frenkel defect that we are going to study also will make use of similar kind of equation, Boltzmann equation that I have written here. Now, hear me very mindfully. Ns, small ns, is the number of Schottky vacancies for each ion. For each ion in unit volume. And capital N is the total number of lattice points for each ion. Total number of lattice points for each ion per unit volume. How many lattice points are available, out of which some are missing out, vacant, and some, why some? Most of them are occupied by ions and some of them are vacant. So all the total number of lattice points present in one unit volume, that is capital N, and Ns is the number of missing sites, number of Schottky vacancies or Schottky defects per unit volume. So this Ns divided by the whole total number of sites, lattice points, minus the number of missing points. That means the total number of existing positions occupied by ions. But we neglect Ns compared to N is so small, as we found the mole fraction is so small that in the face of capital N, small ns is neglected in the denominator. So ns by n, ns is the number of defects, vacant positions present in 1 meter cube or 1 centimeter cube, and the total number of lattice points, right? Carrying, most of them are occupied and some of them are unoccupied, which we have neglected. That is equal to e to the power minus some energy, es. I'll tell you what. In some books you will find del H, in some books you will find W, work function, similar to the photoelectric effect. So I have written ES, S stands for Schottky, and 2kT, K is the Boltzmann constant. That is, you remember in gaseous state, we came across with Boltzmann constant. What is that? Who can tell me what is Boltzmann constant? Boltzmann constant is R by N. Okay, Sajan, hands down. Boltzmann constant is R, the gas constant, by N, Na, Avogadro's number. R by Na, and its value, you know, in SI it is 1.37 into 10 to the power minus 23 joules per Kelvin. And that is the Boltzmann constant. And what is ES? ES, have a look. It is the energy required to remove one ion, one particle from its regular position to the surface of the crystal. That is its work function. The energy required to uproot, to remove from the assigned lattice point to the surface. That is called, for only one ion, not 1 mole of ion. If you take 1 mole of ion, this will be the molar enthalpy change, and this K will be replaced by R, because if you multiply Na here and Na here, Na will cancel and this will become R. So I have written also that if you are using per mole, if delta H is the heat of formation, same thing. The amount of heat absorbed to be absorbed for the formation of 1 mole of Schottky defects, then you can use that. Depending on the data available in the numerical, if it is per mole, then you have to use R in the denominator, and if it is per vacancy, what is the energy used? That is say E. This is a wrong thing. This I have to cancel, because F stands for Frenkel. I wrongly imported from this one. This should be Schottky. Yes. My ink is different, Yes. I'm an angry man, so I like red. Am I an angry man? Schottky. So per mole, what is the energy required to make the defects? This is R. And this is the mole fraction of Schottky defect. And so this is just equation you write down. This is the calculation to find out the number of Schottky defects in 1 cc. And K is the Boltzmann constant. And if you have written, M.A. Khan, you have got any question? Yes? Khan sir? Yes?
Sir, I think that was heat of formation, del HF.
Yeah, heat of formation. This one. What is heat of formation? You are asking that. What is heat of formation?
No, sir. I think that F was written because of heat of formation.
Oh, right. I am so sorry. I cursed unto myself because I thought I have wrongly written. Yes, F stands for heat of formation. Now see how meticulously he is observing. Yes. Then I should not have changed. Yes, since it is heat of formation, therefore it is worthwhile to use, but just to make my point also not confused, let us write also as Schottky. F stands for formation in small letter, S for Schottky defect. Okay. So if you have written this, then we have a, you already know K is the Boltzmann constant, and N it can be found out. See, N, the total number of lattice points in one unit volume can be found out if you know the density of that solid. Density is the mass of one unit volume. And if you divide by molecular mass, that will be the mass of one unit volume. And the number of moles, I'm sorry. Mass, volume, say 1 meter cube or 1 centimeter cube. Mass by molecular mass, empirical formula mass. That will give you the number of moles of each type. Number of moles of KCl means it is number of moles of K plus as well as the number of moles of Cl minus. Into Na will give you the actual number of lattice points of each ion present in one unit volume, because you are using density, means mass per unit volume. Mass by molecular mass or empirical formula mass will give you the number of moles. Number of moles into Avogadro's number will give you what? The number of ions, the number of lattice points. So, and therefore, from the formula, we know the number of Schottky defects is proportional to e to the power -1 by t. Forget about E. E is constant. For a given crystal, E is constant. That will be given to you, the data. But temperature you have at your disposal to change. So the number of Schottky vacancies increases with increase in temperature. You can have a relationship. So as the as the temperature increases, more and more vacancies are created. So remember this, the vacancy increases with increase in temperature. Now this is a numerical that I have incorporated here. Calculate the number of Schottky defects for, now see, don't calculate. I'll let you when you will write. Calculate the number of Schottky defects for each ion per cubic meter of KCl at 450 degrees Celsius. The energy required to form each Schottky defect, that means ES, for each Schottky defect is 2.6 electron volt. So since it is an electron volt, anybody can guess. No, why guess? Can confirm that it is for a single defect. Otherwise, it would have been given kilojoules per mole, kilocalories per mole. Since electron volt, it is only for one defect creation. While the density of KCl crystal is this much. So I told you just before that density is converted to kg per meter cube. I adopted SI technique. So this is the density in SI into Avogadro's number by this should be, I have done a wrong, because this has to be in kg, because this is kg per meter cube. I missed out here. This should be 10 to the power -3, because this is in gram. K is 39, chlorine is 35.5. So this is in gram. So this has to be converted to kg, so that the number of lattice points in 1 meter cube is so high. In 1 meter cube, 1.57 into 10 to the power 28 K plus, and same number of Cl minus are present in 1 meter cube. So there was a mistake here. And then we applied the Boltzmann equation. Ns is equal to N, because we are asked to find out the defects per unit volume. The number of Schottky defects per unit volume, each ion. So this is N. We have already found out N is so high. So this into e to the power, the amount, the energy required to make one defect is only 2.6 electron volt. So 2.6 converted to joule, 1.602 10 to the minus 19, divided by the formula contains 2 kT. So 2 K, the Boltzmann constant value, because we have used for one defect creation, not per mole. Had it been per mole, then it is R, that is 8.3 joules per Kelvin per mole, but it is 1, therefore it is only joules per Kelvin, not per mole. and this is in Kelvin scale, 450 plus 273. And I found that the number of defects per meter cube is as high as 1 meter cube. You imagine how big a space it is. Physics people like 1 meter cube. They are big people, but we are small people. We are interested in centimeter cube. So 1 point, if you convert it to centimeter cube, I guess it will be less. And for NaCl, taking the density of NaCl at room temperature and the value of energy that is required to create one defect, taking that, it is not exactly equal to that of KCl. That value is different, this value is different, temperature is different. Of course, if you use all these, and in our centimeter cube unit, it is coming 10 to the power, approximately 10 to the power 6. This is in meter cube. In centimeter cube, you imagine what will be the value for KCl, and for NaCl, it is 10 to the power 6. So I gave you this problem dedicated to Mr. Khan. Then we shall write the Frenkel defect. How many of you have written this problem and done while understanding? You also wrote. Anyone while understanding, you also wrote this, solved this, and copied this problem? Yes, that should be the spirit, you know, when a teacher is teaching, because you are all now in class 12 and later on you will be in your professional career. Then you have to be very, very prompt, listening as well as writing notes, some important points, because every lecture will be supported by lecture notes available in the internet. Every professor will now have to give the notes, class notes, available to his students, at least to his students, with a password protected for his students. So there is no room for, you know, writing so slowly in a notebook. I think we must get rid of this this, because I cannot discard this. At least this is wrong. Others who had not written, only understood, no worries at all. No worries at all. You write at your home. I mean, when you right? Then we go for Frenkel defect. So I mentioned that Frenkel defect is a dislocation defect. We have not written anything, as I remember. Have you written anything, Mitra? Also written. Then let me remind you, it is a combination of vacancy defect from its assigned position. Yes, I was giving an example where the children, I mean, the mommy of my children used to punish the children by putting them in a corner of a room, asking not to budge an inch from there. But when they used to see their grandparents, that is my dad, they used to violate the rule, and they were just crawling from their assigned position to another non-assigned position. And then when the grandfather, the grandpa was not there, then again they were getting a stronger punishment. So that happens here. But of course, there is no punishment, but the assigned ion is dislocated to another position. So this is a combination of vacancy defect, like the Schottky is a vacancy defect, and when it goes to another position, that is called an interstitial defect. And combination of this vacancy and interstitial is called a dislocation defect. Of course, this dislocation term is more used for Swayam Sarangi is having some internet issues. Right. Now this is the the group name of the online class that is going on for first year, uranium online chemistry. So let me close this down. So this type of Frenkel defect is found where the coordination number is low, particularly it is 4. But I told you silver bromide is the only exception where the cation anion size is so very, intermediate, the bromide size, that it shows both Schottky as well as Frenkel type of defects. Remember, it will be required for your examination purpose. But others like zinc sulfide, AgCl, AgI, having coordination number 4 of zinc blende type, even calcium fluoride type, which gave us sleepless nights, just exaggerating, to find its ionic packing fraction, unless and until we applied Ra by Rc is equal to 0.225. Now Miss A.T. also claimed that I had done that. Sir has ignored it. I had also the same claim as Mr. Khan, that I had also used Ra by Rc. Yes, I also give you the same credit as to Mr. Khan. I have no discrimination between any one of you. So, in case of calcium fluoride, we have to look to the dislocation of fluoride ion, because fluoride ion is in the tetrahedral hole. So the only case where we talk of the dislocation of an ion is calcium fluoride or fluorite type of structures. But in all other univalent or bivalent type of zinc blende type of structure, where coordination number is 4, it is the cation dislocation. It is the cation dislocation. But in calcium fluoride type of lattice, it is the anion dislocation, because anion is having a coordination number 4. Now we have also, have we drawn this diagram? Have we done the diagram where an ion is dislocated to another forbidden position, where, yes, we have also written, oh yes, I think I am wasting time. We have also written that the most important consequence of Frenkel defect is the increase in the dielectric constant of the crystal, because of the proximity of positive ions and proximity of negative ions. So the polarity of the solid increases, and that makes the dielectric constant greater. Stability decreases, lattice energy decreases, entropy increases. That is a common thing. But most important is no change in density. Unlike the Schottky defect, Frenkel defect doesn't involve any change in density. Right. The same type of equation Mr. Khan is used here. Same type of equation, but here we use another term. This N, the same number of total lattice points in 1 meter cube, and Ni is the total number of interstitial points or defect. A total number of available interstitial voids, which is usually same. So N square root over means N, the same. But sometimes in the question, you will be given the number of interstitial voids, that means tetrahedral voids per centimeter or per meter cube is this much. So that value sometimes is less or more than the number of lattice points as calculated from density, that value, and the number of voids, not the lattice points, the voids. It's not the lattice point. Lattice point will be occupied by ions, but the voids won't be occupied by ions. Still it is vacant. The IPF that we found out for all types of crystals. So that is the void. Even in the ionic crystal, there are voids. Even in the ionic crystal, there is some percentage of space unoccupied. Not only in metallic crystals that we found out, but also we found out in ionic crystal, nearly 75%. And we found in most of the cases, the packing efficiency is nearing 75%. most of them, some 74, 73, 75, like that. So another 25% is vacant. So how many, such voids, such holes are available even in the ionic crystal? So that is Ni. If that is given, and this is calculated from the density as we did before, then this is the equation. And if it is not, Ni is not given, you presume that N is equal to Ni. So this is N square root. That means same equation as we found for Schottky. But the only difference is the amount of energy for the dislocation. It is not, going, removing the ion from its assigned position to the top of the crystal, that is to the surface of the crystal. But here it is just a dislocation from one site, assigned site, to another void. So that energy value is different. It will be given to you. So this reduced to the same type of equation, only the energy is different. This is EF. For one Frenkel vacancy, this amount of energy is needed. And for 1 mole, here we use R, the same type of thing. Now, we were talking about non-stoichiometric defect. We have not written anything. Okay, let us write something. Well, then I will show you the. We must write some salient points that will help us. Now, as I was told by my better half that there will be a huge cyclonic storm after 12. So I don't find such a thing in my vicinity. Although I am in a closed room in your classroom, I don't hear any sound, but I don't know whether it is getting more and more vigorous. Now, what I was saying is, let us write down something that is non-stoichiometric defect. And the ratio between cation and anion is not simple whole number. And this ratio is also variable. That can be controlled by us. Ratio can be variable. For example, it can be Fe 0.950, not FeO. If it is FeO, we commonly write ferrous oxide as FeO, but actually it has a lot of defects we shall discuss. It will be about 0.95, not 1 O. And sometimes we can change this to 0.92, 0.93, 0.97 O. So the ratio between cation and anion is not a simple whole number ratio, but it is a fraction. In that case, it is called a non-stoichiometric compound, and the defect is also called a non-stoichiometric defect. And there are two types. One, metal excess defect. And two, metal deficiency defect. Metal excess defect, metal deficiency defect. So will we go to the next page? So, Sambit, are you here? Sambit? So Sambit is missing out. Ms. Bhor? Sambit Kimti is not missing. Sambit is not there today. Maybe he is facing some problem, internet problem for which he is not. Adi, are you here? Yes, I saw Adi entering into the classroom. Adi, Soyam Adi Satya. Raise your hand. Swayam, Adisatya, you were there. Now you also had faced some problem and went away. So both the friends are missing in the class. So it's not a big deal. You can hear the recording later. Both of them are not present. Swayam Adisatya. Is mute. Oh, yeah. Yes, my voice was mute. When, the Zoom session was interrupted for a fraction of a second, then automatically my microphone system was off. So I discovered now. Is it audible now? Mitrovu, is it audible now? Are you able to hear me? Yes or no? Are you able to hear me? Oh, is a problem. And yes, are you able to hear me? Yes. Yes. Are you able to hear me now? Yes. Please bear with me. Today we have a lot of difficulties due to Amphan. So let us start. Let us resume. Okay. Now I ask Adisatya. Swayam, raise your hand. Swayam Adisatya, you were there. Yes. Your friend is missing. What happened? What happened to your friend? Swayam, what happened?
Yes, sir.
Swayam,
Yes, sir. Yes,
Adisatya,
sir.
Adi, you are not audible. Your microphone
Hello.
is not working. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Adi. 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 Okay, forget. Raise your, lower your hand, please. Lower. Okay. In the metal excess defect, let me write down a few salient points. First, let us take up the metal excess defect. Some anions are missing from their lattice points as neutral atoms. The electrons left out at these points are called F centers. F centers. So, electrically neutral. Go to the next page. Some anions are missing from their lattice points. Anions, I repeat, anions. Therefore, cations remain in excess. When anions go, some anions leave. The cations remain in excess. But anions do not leave as anions. They leave as neutral atoms, leaving behind their noses, their electrons. I mean, the extra electron they were having, for which they were negatively charged ions, they no longer remain negatively charged ions. They lose their electrons there, and they're expelled out as neutral atoms. And those electrons, they occupy the places of their ions. The main bulk of the species is not there, but the invisible and the lightest electrons, they occupy their places. Therefore, the electrical neutrality is maintained, but because of the presence of these electrons, these are called free electrons, now occupy the sites of anions. Some of the anions, not all anions, some of the anions, they miss out, leaving behind their own electrons, excess electrons, their charges, that means electrons. Those are called F centers. And because of the S centers, they conduct electricity due to free electrons. This is F centers, present in the F centers, and form N type of semiconductors. So such crystals having metal excess defect due to the loss of anions, they become N type of semiconductors. Because they conduct electricity in a normal way. N stands for normal, that is conduction by electrons, free electrons. Now, they also, show distinct color. That's the beauty. Distinct color due to absorption of energy, of visible energy from the visible region, visible radiation by these free electrons, F centers. Of course, if they absorb certain radiation, then we observe its complementary color. That is the physics behind the color of a particular substance that we observe. The substance is absorbing some color from the light, and the rest of the colors mixed together is giving an effect to our eyesight. So the color that we see in a particular object is not the color that the substance absorbs. It is the complementary color that it reflects. It doesn't absorb, right? So those things you must be knowing in your the complementary color, GBR, how to know the complementary color. We will be having a extensive discussion on that in our inorganic chemistry in complexes. We will be using the color wheel to exactly identify what will be the observed color of a complex if it absorbs at this particular nanometer wavelength, at this particular angstrom wavelength. So, and examples, I am giving some examples. Say you take sodium chloride crystal heated in the presence of sodium vapor. That crystal, sodium chloride crystal, looks completely yellow, golden yellow. Now, you do one thing today, you go home. You go home. Yes, you are in my home. You are in your Gurudev's. I'm sorry, that term is a very big word. In your Guruji, that is also a good word. In your teacher's home. When you go back, you do an experiment. I will give you some sodium metal recovered from kerosene. I have a lot of sodium metal. I eat 1 spoon of sodium metal every morning to keep myself fit. So I give you some sodium metal, and in your mommy's kitchen, you have a lot of rock salt, sodium chloride crystal, the table salt. You take some table salt, which is white, is colorless, and it appears white. And you take a vessel and put your mom's table salt along with my sodium metal. You heat it. So after some time, you will find your mom's sodium chloride will become yellow. Right? And you give it to your mom, say the same sodium chloride crystal, but no change has happened. You can use it in your curry making, because Odisha is famous. Odisha, Bengal, Assam, they are famous in curry making. Curry making, gravy. So you ask your mom to use that yellow salt. She will be scared. No, it is poisonous. You will say nothing is there. Only some F centers are there. Some chloride ions are missing out. And in its place, the nose of chlorine. The nose, that means the electron of chlorine is there. Chlorine has come out as neutral chlorine atom. So what really happens here? Now see. Supposing here is the sodium chloride crystal, Na plus Cl minus. And here is the sodium atom having 1 unpaired electron. Vapor. This is a sodium vapor. And this is sodium chloride crystal. When you heat it, sodium chloride crystal of your mom's kitchen in sodium vapor, what happens? Now, inside the crystal, chloride ion, sodium ion, chloride ion, sodium ion, chloride ion, and this alternately is present. So what happens? Let me draw once again. So what really happens is this. Supposing this is Na plus, this is Cl minus, this is Na plus, Cl minus. This is Cl minus, this is Na plus. This is Cl minus, this is Na plus. What happens? Some chloride ion, they miss out. Some chloride ion miss out. But leaving behind its nose. It goes out as a chlorine. These sodium atoms are inviting, come, come. You cannot come with your nose. Cut your nose. Put your nose there in the epicenter. Come as atom. I am the donor. I have an unpaired electron. I want to satisfy my octet. Come, come. You come as 17 electrons, not as 18 electrons. So chlorine will leave its own electron. Chloride will leave its own electron and become chlorine as a neutral atom and come to the surface only due to the invitation of sodium atom. And they will form again sodium chloride. So your mom will be getting both yellow sodium chloride, the bulk of the crystal that your mom has lent you, that will become yellow. And this sodium chloride will be formed, so there will be no sodium metal. All sodium vapor will be converted to sodium chloride falling on the surface. But that is not defective. But here in the main crystal, hundreds and thousands of F centers have been created, and this is an F center. F comes from a German word Harbinger, that is color. Such compound, such compounds will be beautifully colored. It was a sodium chloride, which was originally, even if it is having some large number of Schottky defects, it was colorless. Even if it was having another type of defect, that is Schottky, it was colorless because there was no free electron there in a defective crystal. But here we have introduced metal excess defect because some chlorine is missing. Therefore, this is a metal excess defect, and the two consequences of metal excess defect is A, it is a semiconductor. What kind? It is N type of semiconductor, because if you apply a PD, then this free electron, moves, and the conduction is normal, just like a metallic conductor. So therefore, this is converted to what is told as an N type of semiconductor. So this is one advantage of such a defect, metal excess defect, non-stoichiometric defect. It was having already stoichiometric defect if it is a commercial salt. And now we have introduced, by heating sodium chloride in sodium vapor, we have introduced the non-stoichiometric defect, metal excess defect, by removing chlorine atoms to the surface and allowing that to react with the neutral sodium atoms and becoming again sodium chloride, right? So we can have lithium chloride in lithium vapors. That will be purple. The color of this was previously colorless, now it will be purple. Or say red. I'll tell you, I just leave it. I will show you the slide. And if it is KCl, it is heated in the presence of potassium vapor, it will be violet. And so on. So a colorless crystal is converted to a colored crystal by introducing metal excess defect, just by hitting that crystal in the corresponding metallic solid. If it is KCl, then potassium vapor has to be taken, neutral potassium vapor. If it is lithium chloride, then lithium vapor is to be taken. Sodium chloride, sodium vapor, and so on. Rubidium chloride, rubidium vapors, and so on. And another interesting example you must have noticed in your college practicals, school practicals. When zinc oxide is the white, the colorless, or say we can write white, it looks white, crystal is heated, it turns yellow due to removal of some oxide ions as neutral O atoms. It doesn't need any partner. O missigale oxygen gas hai ki padebo. So no, there is no necessity of any invitation. Just heat kar dele, some of the oxygen atoms, oxide ions will lose their noses, 2 electrons there in the epicenters, and go as neutral oxygen and handshake with another oxygen and fly as oxygen to the atmosphere. So when zinc oxide crystal is heated in a test tube, it turns yellow due to the removal of oxide ions, some oxide ions as neutral atoms, and creating epicenters. But when it is cooled, when cooled, again becomes white. Again becomes white. You can do this experiment in your laboratory. Take some white zinc oxide crystal, you heat it, simply heat it. You will find it turns yellow. Then you leave it, bring it out of the flame, keep it for some time. You will find it will be turning once again white, because atmosphere is abundantly available in the vicinity. So it enters it again at low temperature. Again, the electron, the noses, they seek for the being. Come. Only nose is getting, very, very bored, like BRR. So the oxygen molecule will be chopped off as oxygen atoms, and they will re-enter, and then the noses will be fit into oxygen atom, and it will become oxide ion. No free electron, no absorption of light, no color. So the vacancy, the defects will be vanished. So as long as you are heating, the defects will be there. The moment you cool down, because there is no, invitation. In that case, it was a permanent introduction of metal excess defect. where sodium has already joined with chlorine to form sodium chloride. There is no point of re-entry of chlorine atom to fit into its lost nose and become chloride ion, and then there will be no metal excess defect. So in the earlier example, such a thing will not arise. But in this example, when oxygen atoms, oxygen gas is available in the atmosphere, so they will re-enter as oxygen atom and it will become oxide ion and there will be no defect. That is the interesting thing. So before we enter into the metal deficiency defect, I would like to just show you the slides. I want to show you the slides here. These are called F centers. F centers, some anions remain absent from lattice points as neutral atoms, as neutral atoms while leaving the electrons at their places. Some anions remain absent. So it is better to write miss out. Don't write anything. I have already given you the notes. Some anions miss out from their lattice points as neutral atoms while leaving the electrons at their places, which are trapped in the anionic vacancies. These are called F centers. F stands for Farben center. It's in German word, and that means it is a color. Such a crystal becomes color. Metal ions remain in excess than anions, therefore it is called metal excess defect. Alkali metal halides heated in the atmosphere of alkali metal vapors. So this defect, beautifully colored. For example, potassium chloride crystal heated in potassium vapors becomes violet. Lithium, yes, I asked you to leave a space. This becomes pink. Lithium chloride crystal heated in lithium vapor becomes pink. Sodium chloride heated in sodium vapor becomes yellow. So when you do this experiment at your home, don't scare your moms, because this is nothing but having some F-centered, some electrons. The same example, the formula becomes, non-stoichiometric. When metal ion remains in excess, so such compound cannot be called NaCl. As long as there is only Schottky defect, it will be NaCl. But once it is a non-stoichiometric defect you have introduced, then it will be Na, supposing 1.05 Cl. Because since some chloride ions are missing as neutral atoms, so the proportion of the positive ions becomes more. It can be sodium 1.1 Cl, something like that, depending on how much defects you introduce, how much heating you make with the crystal, mom's sodium chloride crystal with sodium vapor, and what is the amount of sodium vapor available. Basing on that, the stoichiometry or in fact the non-stoichiometry can be adjusted. So we enter into, and the consequences you have already written. It produces N type of semiconductors, and they're beautifully colored because they observe visible radiations of a particular wavelength, and we observe its complementary color. Then let us write down what is metal deficiency defect, the opposite. Now let us write down a few lines before we see. Again, this villain has come. So I have so many villains to encounter. This is metal deficiency defect. I had given you a link from some source I got. I found some very good standard MCQs on solid state are there. So I gave you a link and you start solving whenever you are free. And because we have postponed the examination, and I definitely have a feeling, subject to correction, Khan Sahab, I have a feeling I might be wrong, completely wrong. When I asked you in the group that should we postpone the examination, and I apprehend that you have a secret group between yourselves. Why I say? Because last year it was revealed to me in a later time that those belonging to my coaching group, they have another group devoid of me. May not be having all the members, but major friends there to form another group. They discuss something between them, and then they finally, so might be you took some time to discuss within yourselves. Finally, after few minutes, when Khan Sahab proposed yes it should be postponed, then they plot, then yes postpone, it was plotted. So this just you make me, if I'm wrong, if it is so, then forget. If it is not, then you forget. So why all your uh, all your videos are off? All your videos are now gone. What happened? Monis Mitra raised hand. Okay. Yes, Mitro. What? Mitro. Yes.
Sorry, sir. I was having some network problems.
Mitro.
That's why. Yes, sir.
Mitro, I am not able to hear you.
Sir, but
Please adjust your microphone.
yes, sir.
Yes, no, I am not able to hear you. My audio is okay.
Sir,
I'm
but
not able to hear you. No.
sir, but my
No. Oh, my is no. My voice is okay. So someone else, please try. Miss Misra, would you like to talk to me? Yes. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Hello,
sir.
Miss Misra.
Yes, sir.
Oh, he's not able to hear anyone. What has happened? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
But I am not able to hear you. Why? Oh, microphone. Speaker is not yet the. It's a Realtek one. Yes. Now, tell me.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes. I had wrongly selected the speaker to a different one. I'm using a Blue Yeti microphone, but a Realtek speaker, but I wrongly gave yes. Now you mute yourself, Miss Misra. I would like to hear from Mr. Mitra.
Sir, actually, I'm facing some network problems at sometimes, so I'm switching off my video at times.
Okay. You can do that. When I will demand, I will ask a question. I want that I should see you. So you cannot shy away. That was precise reason. One of the major reasons for which I was angry. So henceforth, irrespective of whether you are a girl or a boy, you make yourself presentable, because it is a classroom. Teacher might demand any one of you to have a one-to-one interaction with a video on. That should be the ideal situation. Okay, metal deficiency defect. Next, let's write down a few lines on that. Villain number one is some positive ions, cations. There it was anions missing. Some positive ions missing out from their lattice points, and to, all these cases electrically, they are neutral. In the earlier case also, the electrons were left out. The negative ion went as neutral atoms. So the electrical neutrality of the defective crystal is there. Same will happen here. Some positive ions will miss out from their lattice points, and to have electrical neutrality, some other positive ions acquire higher oxidation states. I can give you a specific example, FeO crystal. Actually, it will become FeXO, where X is less than 1. It is a metal deficiency defect. There, metal excess that happened due to loss of anions. Here, it is due to the loss of cations. There will be a metal deficiency. In metal excess, it was an indirect happening because the negative ions, they miss out as neutral atoms. Therefore, metal ions remain in excess. But here, the metal itself is left out. It goes out. During crystallization, it goes out. Some of the metal ions, they goes out. They totally go out with their charges, with their cavities. But in order to equalize the charge, make it electrically neutral, some other cations will acquire higher energy level. For example, in FeO crystal, for the loss of 1 Fe2 plus. Now tell me, 1 Fe2 plus goes means there will be corresponding O2 minus. The positive ion has a corresponding negative ion. Fe2 plus goes. But the corresponding O2 minus is there. It is not gone. But how to equalize the charge? For that, who can tell me? Tell me, if one ferrous ion is absent in its lattice point, but the corresponding oxide ion is present, then what would the internal mechanism that would have happened so that the electrical neutrality is maintained? You have to raise your hand. I will pick and choose. You, Miss Misra, you should also cooperate and change our strategy from no feel to yes feel. Ye mera wada hai. We have to change. For so many years, I have been, using a bilingual version. And this is for the first time that I am inclined to use English for second year. If that is the case, a new change is always opposed by majority. But when they are habituated, they are acclimatized to the new change, they accept, not only accept, they find it better than the old one. So it takes time to acclimatize, to adapt to the new environment, new changed environment. Just like the post-COVID scenario will be something different for the coming maybe years, maybe 1 or 2 years, it will be totally a different scenario. Now, I told you that I will be writing some of my experiences in the form of quotes every day. I will change it. That has been suggested by the caretaker. I mean the admin, just like the group admin is Monali. So the admin of my website is my brother, who suggested me to write a quote. So I would try to write the quote which is more practical, not very much related to ideal things, which is impracticable. So I wrote yesterday that it is extremely difficult. That also, I am also included in that. Extremely difficult to recognize, to find fault with oneself. Unless unless we shed our ego. It's not an easy job. It is a Herculean task. A lot of sadhana is required to shed one's ego. You can do it more elegantly, confidently than the elder ones who have accumulated ego to such a large extent. They become totally invincible. But young boys and girls like you, they have so many virtues that they can find their faults more easily than the elder ones. And therefore I wrote, it is extremely difficult task to find fault with oneself. And once we detect that, we are filled with remorse. A real sadness. It's not a fake sadness. Just like I used to say, fake the laughter till you make it. It's not a fake sadness. It is a real sadness that is called remorse. And that remorse will pave the way for atonement, that is rectification, to make amends of our conduct or of our activity, so that we do not repeat the same mistake. So it's not a great man saying. It is an analysis which everyone has done in their lives. So I have written that. But sometimes I'll be quoting some saints, some people of great eminence, great spirituality, irrespective of their allegiance to religion, because I do not have any such faith in the so-called religion. Religion should be good. If a person cannot be more humble, more sacrificing in nature, more forgiving in nature, more compassionate in nature, whatever religion he professes, he or she, is actually no religion. And if somebody professes religion, then it will be displayed, it will be exuded in his personality or in her own personality. The kind of compassion that is having, kind of charitable mindset that is having, to help others, to think for others. All these attributes, they are the outcome of professing a religion. If that doesn't happen, then we are not professing any religion. Okay, back to our work. So what happens? Yes, who will answer? I demand the answer from some of you. Subham, Sajan. I would like to talk to Subham now. Why not girls? I am not opposed to girls. I am not an enemy of girls.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Subham, please.
Sir, 2 Fe2 plus ion will acquire the Fe3 plus state.
Precisely. For the loss of one ferrous ion, 2 ferrous ion have to become ferric ion. They will remain as ferric ion. They will remain during crystallization. They will remain as ferric ion. 2, we will be calculating one loss of ferrous ion. Actually, it is a crystal of ferrous ion. It is a ferrous oxide. But because at some intermediate points, ferrous ions are absent and the corresponding oxide ions are present, how to make the charge neutral? It is possible only when per ferrous ion, there will be 2 ferrous ion remaining as ferric. That we shall write down here. So for the loss of 1 ferrous, 2 ferrous ion to exist as ferric ion. For the loss of 1 ferrous ion, 2 ferrous ion to remain as ferric ion, not as ferrous ion. Then only +2 -2, the oxide ion, which is the counterpart of ferrous ion, the missing ferrous ion, and the 2 ferric ion. So +2 -2, they get cancelled. So this total crystal is electrically neutral. Now, what are the consequences? Now, let me show you a diagram to indicate. So we had started our class at what time? At 12:30, and it is now going to be 2. So I think today's a little slower. Doesn't matter. I don't think I will be able to start the electrical properties today. Hopefully, all these symptoms of OMPAN would have completely gone, vanished by tomorrow morning when we'll resume on tomorrow morning. But my fervent request to all of you, all the latecomers, including RR and others, don't blame me if I will disallow you, not allow you to enter into my room if you are late. So I must have to assert at certain time, because I found that if I become extra liberal, then I am at pain. I am at the receiving end. I am not getting that much of satisfaction as I used to get. And why did I waste your entire class time period in the last class? It is only to bridge the gap. It is only to make you feel that you are unable to recognize that not only your teacher is at fault, but also you are at fault. Let us admit that, confess that, realize that, and try to have real remorse for that, and try to rectify that. To err is human, and to rectify is human. And why to have a gap? Why not to bridge the gap? And as we continue to get rid of our shortcomings, the gap will be automatically bridged. Gap will be automatically bridged. Now let me draw some diagram just like we did. Supposing this is ferrous oxide. This is supposing Fe2 plus, this is O2 minus, and this Fe2 plus is absent. This is a hole, absent. Then 2 minus is there. Then here it will be Fe3 plus, and here this is O2 minus. I'm sorry, this is O2 minus. That will be alternate. So this will be Fe3 plus, this will be O2 minus, this will be Fe3 plus. So the loss, this is lost. Is not there. During crystallization, it is absent. And at that time, 2 for the loss, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 ferrous ion, 4 oxide ion. So when one ferrous ion is missing out, it's not there, vacant, then obviously the other 2 should remain in the form of ferric. This I told you as a very simple picture. But there are hundreds and thousands of ferrous ion. Only few ferrous ion are missing. Predominantly it is ferrous. I showed you in this diagram as if someone will feel it is ferric oxide. It's no. It is because it is a gigantic crystal containing tens of thousands of ferrous ion and oxide ion. And out of them, a few ferrous ions will be missing out. And for one ferrous ion missing out, 2, I should draw it in a different color to distinguish. So now it is electrically neutral. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 minus 6, 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 6, right? Consequences. 1, it gives a P type of semiconductor. That was N type. Metal excess defect was resulting a N type of semiconductor. The conductivity is due to the migration of free electrons, but here the migration of positive holes, P type of semiconductors. When ferrous to ferric conversion produces a positive hole. This is the theory of physicists. Whose migration results conduction. So today many are absent. Many. Argyarupa is present. Anasuya is absent. Anasuya, are you there? Raise your hand. Anusuya is absent. Sonalisa, are you there? Sonalisa? So, today's excuse is very bona fide. When I use the word excuse, then the bona fide term is redundant. Because when your teacher returns down to his own sarcasm, then it's a natural flow. Sarcasm is the hallmark of your teacher. So, no, there are many absentees, but I'm sure they will benefit out of the recording. So I promise that I will try to control myself while recording, not to put you into an embarrassing situation where you yourself feel embarrassed while you look. That is my mistake. I have to work on that. Because what happens, you just see, supposing here is one ferrous balloon. This is one ferric. In between there is an oxide ion, forget about it. So one electron will hop from ferrous to ferric. Will hop from ferrous to ferric, converting these to ferrous and these to ferric. So that the physicists, they call a positive hole is created. We say ferric ion is created, but they say a positive hole is created due to the jump of electron from ferrous to ferric. Again, another ferrous is there. Another electron hops from this ferrous to ferric. So this ferric becomes ferrous, and this there is another positive hole created here. This becomes ferric. So electron continues to hop, supposing to the right and right, and the positive holes they migrate from right to left. So they call it. It's not due to the migration of free electron, because free electron is not entering into the electrode. It is the positive hole which is migrating, because the electrons are merging into ferric ion, converting into ferrous. So electron is not responsible for the conduction of electricity, because it is just coming from ferrous entering into ferric. It is not going to the electrode. But the positive hole, that the newly created ferric ion, which is the center of a positive hole, that it is migrating. I will not enter into those ambiguities of physics. The direction of current, which is opposite to the direction of electron flow, and here the positive holes, they will better explain and defend their theories, but I am not there to do that. So this kind of semiconductors are called p-type of semiconductors, where there is metal deficiency defect. And the other one is there will be lustre. Such defective crystals will have lusters like a metallic luster. You will get it very polished and very shiny, because when the electron will hop from ferrous to ferric, that will scatter light, and that will make this luster. They will scatter light. They will not observe, but they will scatter light, and for which we get a luster effect. So these are the two things. And one of the important crystal is Fe.950. This is called Oostite structure. Oostite, not Urzite. This is Oostite structure, where there is power. We will be solving some numericals based on this. We will be solving that. So there will be 0.95:1. So this is a famous Oostite structure. Can anyone tell me who has remembered what is Urzite structure? How it is different from the zinc blende structure, which is also called, which has another name. Who can tell me that? What is the other name of zinc blende structure? And how Urzite structure is different from the zinc blende structure? It's a very small difference. What is that small difference? Now, Vishal Dalai is interested. Isa Patnaik, I have not heard you. Yes, Isa?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. The zinc blende structure, the anions are in the FCC structure, whereas in the woodside structure, the anions are occupying the HCP part, and the cations in both the case are in the tetrahedral holes in alternating manner.
Fantastic. The only difference between the spherulite, that is called a spherulite, zinc blende is also called spherulite structure, and the woodside structure, that the house of the tigers is CCP in zinc blende and HCP in woodside structure. But the tetrahedral holes are occupied in both by cations in an alternating manner. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, let me show you this before we end up our today's program. So to continue the discussion on this is defects in crystals. This one you see, I have written down. In ferrous oxide, there can be many varieties of defective ferrous oxide ranging from 0.93 to 0.96. And when it is 0.95, it is called woostite. Don't confuse with woodsite, woostite structure. Nickel oxide also, those transition metals which exhibit variable valency, variable oxidation state, their compounds are more susceptible to form metal deficiency defect because they can easily go to their higher oxidation state, not the ones which cannot have any other oxidation state. Those which exhibit unique oxidation states like zinc. Zinc oxide cannot show because zinc has only a valency of +2. Not alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, not there. But those like chromium, like molybdenum, like nickel, like cobalt, like iron, those, not zinc. So they can show this metal deficiency defect by the loss of few metal ions from their sides, and their losses are being compensated by some other metal ions acquiring higher oxidation state, right? So the consequences is luster due to exchange of electron, hopping of electron from ferrous to ferric, thereby scattering light, and it forms p-type of semiconductors due to exchange of electron from the lower state to higher state, and the whole migration occurs, the positive whole migration. So let's take up a numerical on this. Write down this one. We will solve this numerical and go. Of course, someone will remind me, Mr. Khan, that the impurity defect also we lost. That will take only 1 minute. Don't worry at all. You write down this. You want to say something, Mr. Khan? Please do so. Yes? Khan sahab? Yes? Kuch kehna hai aapko?
Sir, by mistake I read.
Okay. So you write down this in a mineral woostite about which we were talking about. The formula of iron oxide is Fe.910. That means all are woostite. 0.91 to 0.96, all are woostite structures. 0.95 is the common one, but this is an uncommon woostite structure where Fe and O ratio is 0.91:1. What percentage of cationic sites are occupied by ferric ion? Out of 100 ferrous ion, how many are ferric ion? What is the percentage of cationic sites are occupied by ferric ion? I have solved it. If the ratio is 0.91:1, then there are 91 Fe ions. I have not said whether it is Fe2 plus or Fe3 plus. Iron ions. I am diplomatic because out of which few are ferric ion. So out of 100 oxide ions, I'm sorry. Out of, no, it's not possible. Okay. Out of 100 oxide ions, villain, out of 100 oxide ions, you have 91 iron ions. Out of them, let the number of ferrous ion is X, and obviously the number of ferric ion is 91 minus X. But the most important is electrical neutrality. The entire crystal is electrically neutral. So one ferrous ion has +2 charge. So X ferrous ions will be 2X. And the 91 minus X ferric ion will be 91 minus X into 3, because one ferric has +3 charge, is equal to the total, is equal to 200. Why it is 200? Who can tell me why it is 200? Why it is 200? Because we are taking the magnitude of charge. Why it is 200? Because there are 100 oxide ions. So there must be minus 200 negative charge. So there must be plus 200 positive charge. So the total negative charge is minus 200. So the total positive charge has to be plus 200. So the electrical neutrality has to be maintained. So is equal to 200. By solving this, we found that the number of ferric ion is only 18. So out of 91, total is not 100. Total iron ions, both in form of ferrous and ferric, was 91. So out of 91, 18 is ferric. So what is the percentage of ferric ion in the site? Is 19.78%. Got it? Understood? Raise your hands who have understood. This is a very simple question. So let's, the number of ferrous ion is X, number of ferric ion is 91 minus X, because the ratio is not 1:1. It is 0.91:1, means 91:100. Out of 100 oxide ions, we have only 91 iron ions, both in form of ferrous and ferric. Good. Hands down. So because of the small strength of today's class, we also could not, because of the paucity of time, we could not also start, because I was ready with the electrical properties, and this slide was, this entire file was ready. Electrical properties of solids, which we could not start. So the only thing we were left with is impurity defect. Write down impurity defect. Impurity defect, and not electronic defect. It doesn't produce any semiconductors, but it enhances the conductivity. Now sodium chloride is doped with strontium chloride, 0.1%. Now listen to me, don't write. You will write at home, because I have given you, some of you like SS was complaining you cannot download it. You can download. I have seen you download to your download folder. In your download folder, you keep it, and then you can print it in PDF format. I have given in slide format to view it more clearly in the screen, not 6 handouts, slides together in one page, but I have made it a single slide in single page, A4 size, so you can view it more clearly. And when you print it, you know better than me, you can make multiple slides, maybe 10, 8 or 6 or 20, making it as a Lilliputian slide. That is your prerogative. Now, if you dope, means addition of impurity is called doping. If you dope 0.1% strontium chloride with sodium chloride, chloride ion will not substitute, because it is already chloride. The sodium chloride has already chloride ions, so these chloride ion will not go. But what will happen? Strontium, some of the strontium ions will saunt out sodium ion, give a fist on the nose of sodium ion, and it will occupy the position of sodium ion. So what will happen? The loss of one sodium ion, replaced by a dye-positive strontium ion, will make it electrically non-neutral charged. So make it electrically neutral, one chloride ion has to miss out. So when this doping happens, some strontium ions, they occupy the lattice points of sodium ions. Sodium ion goes, and equal number of chloride ion also goes. So this villain, for each strontium ion sitting in the cationic site, another cation hole is created. I'm sorry, not chloride. Another cation is missing. I'm so sorry. because +2 and the corresponding Cl minus is there. It is there. Negative ions are not going away. Only Na plus has gone, but Sr2 plus has 2 plus charge. So another Na plus will have to go. So 2 Na plus will go and 1 Na plus, 1 Sr2 plus will sit and another cationic hole will remain vacant. I'm so sorry. I withdraw the earlier sentence that anionic hole is created. Not here. Here, a cationic hole, depending on, supposing supposing you tell me, you are having a calcium fluoride structure, right? You are doping with sodium chloride. I thought otherwise. Supposing you have a main fluoride crystal and you are doing a doping of 0.1% sodium chloride, where calcium ions will be, some of the calcium ions will be sorted out by sodium ions. So then what adjustment will happen to the crystal so that the electrical neutrality will be maintained? Raise your hands. You could not understand. Then why are you not raising your hand? In this case, what I just now explained, a sodium ion is missing, a strontium ion 2 plus is coming. So that another sodium ion has to go so that the positive charge and negative charge will be equal. But in the present case, the main crystal is fluoride, calcium fluoride. The ion is Ca2 plus. And in its place, a monopositive Na plus will sit. So what will happen? +2 means there are 2 chloride ions. But since it is occupied now by a unipositive sodium ion, undoubtedly, one chloride, Dibya has not talked to me. Dibya, I have been, yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, an anionic hole will be created.
Precisely, an anionic hole will be created. So for such kind of crystal, when the cation has a greater valency in the main crystal, which is to be doped, and you are getting another cation having smaller valency, then the anions will be missing. So much so that the charge will be equal. Since it is Ca2 plus is the original ion missing, and in its place Na plus is there, so only one chloride ion will be missing out. For every sodium ion occupying the place of calcium ion, one chloride ion will miss out, so that it is electrically neutral. Now, this defective crystal, sodium chloride crystal, which has got cationic holes, is because of the presence of cationic holes, it is 10,000 times more conducting than pure crystal, sodium chloride crystal. So doping even to sodium chloride crystal, the presence of Schottky defect also enhances the conductivity. And in addition to that, if you dope with a dipositive metal ion, then also further enhancement in conductivity will happen. Silver chloride is the main crystal doped with, similarly, cadmium ion is another example where the conductivity of silver chloride is enhanced. So with this, boys and girls, we end today's session. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock sharp. Don't blame me if I do not accept a few of you who will be who are habitually latecomers. One of them is BRR. You can ask your moms, dads to wake you up in the right time. Okay, bye-bye. Take care. Bye.